Hello, dear mama. Welcome. I am so excited you're here. I'm Karina Salen, and I'm really, really excited to be here with you. And I'm so happy that you are here as well. So just pull up a chair, grab a cup of tea or coffee or chocolate. You can have chocolate. I'm going to have some soon. And, just allow yourself this time here to just be here and deepen into the experience. And, I know that it's really hard to multitask and to be present. And we are busy. We have a lot going on. But I just want to invite you as much as you can the next 45 minutes to just be here and just deepen into this experience. And don't worry if you can't. I totally get it. I'm going to send a replay. I'm going to record everything so you can actually watch later and listen again. So no matter what your situation is right now, you're in the right place. So you're either the mom of little babies and you are in the midst of sleep deprivation and hormonal chaos. I totally remember that time. And you might be the mother of preschoolers chasing kiddos and wiping snotty noses and butts. Maybe you are the mother of teenagers like I am. Or possibly you might be a mother of adult children that already grew up, and maybe you're a grandmother even. Or maybe you are not the mother of any physical children, but you are taking care of other people and you are maybe birthing a project or an idea. No matter what your situation, my dear, you are in the right place. I'm happy you're here. So I know we're all busy, so I'm going to get started here. What I want you to know is that I'm going to keep popping back and forth. I'm going to share my screen here so I can teach you those principles I promised. And when I'm sharing, I cannot check the chat, but my wonderful friend Julia is here and she's going to monitor the chat. So, and I'll keep popping in back and forth to encourage you to actually communicate so I'm not just talking at you. So if there's anything you need, put it in the chat. Tell me if I'm talking too fast or if you can't hear me or whatever. So anyway, we'll get started. I know we're all busy. So, 45 minutes, give yourself that time. And then we'll keep checking in with each other. And I also want to make sure you stay till the very end because I have a very special gift for you. And if you have a journal standing by, that would be wonderful, just to talk about any kind of aha experiences you might be having. And I'm going to share my screen. So, welcome, dear mama. So I want to teach you today 3 surprising and easy principles and practices to go from mama guilt and burnout to ease and balance. That's a mouthful, huh? And so basically, really what I want to share with you today is how to be a happier mother without beating yourself up and resenting the crap out of your kids. And I just want to name what you might be feeling right now, right? So you might feel burned out. You might feel guilty about not giving your kids enough of your attention. Sometimes you might resent your kids for wanting so much of your energy and you don't have much to give. So that creates resentment towards your kids, your partner, whatever. You might be feeling stressed out and overextended and pulled in too many directions at once and just juggling way too much and just this general feeling of I cannot keep up. Many of us feel really alone, maybe even depressed or overly anxious. And it might be super hard to make time for yourself. And you know what? You might be feeling like you're cracking in half. So, dear mama, what is it you're yearning for? What is it really you want? Let me just see. With all the hundreds of women I talk to, here's what we want, right? You're yearning for a purpose beyond children, time for yourself, acceptance, support, self-care, self-trust, energy. You also are yearning for more joy in your life. You want to feel connected with your children because you know what? You love them. Yes, you might resent them or be overly taxed, but we love our children, right? You want to feel more connected with them, maybe more connected with your husband as well. You want to feel acceptance, possibility, validation, inspiration, patience, peace, and you want to feel hope. Now, you want to experience how to be perfectly imperfect because guess what? There ain't such thing as perfection, my dear. You want to experience creative time, relaxation, deep love, nurturing, balance, space, and rest. But you know what? You don't know how to get there. Many of us realize, that we do need to work on ourselves, but you might believe, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough energy, I don't have enough money to invest in bettering myself. And by the way, the word bettering, I don't say that lightly. It implies judgment, and I don't want you to judge yourself about that. Okay? What I really want you to know, my dear, is that nothing is wrong with you. You are not alone in feeling this way, and it is not your fault. Millions and millions of mothers are feeling exactly the same way. Honestly. And you know why I know that? I used to feel this way. I used to feel every single thing on that list that I just told you about. Every single thing. Personally, how it happened for me was I was held back by this really painful, constantly repeating pattern of feeling like I was never good enough. I was a bad, shitty mother and wife, and I didn't deserve any recognition or money or love. And I piled so much on my plate all the time that I got seriously burned out. And I actually had adrenal fatigue. I had depression, and I was in a bad, bad hole. What I want you to know again is you can change this, because if I can change it, you can change it. Honestly, you can change this. And it wasn't until I discovered the feminine power principles and tools that I'm going to teach you today that I actually changed this pattern. I changed this pattern and many more. What happened was that I became aware of these old false beliefs, these old stories I had about, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I don't deserve. I'm bad. And I realized how within these false beliefs, how I relate to myself and to other people and to life or the universe inside of these false beliefs. So this is about you, my dear. This is not about me, but I want to show you a little bit of where I'm at and who I am. I am Karina Salen, and I'm a mother of 3. I got that handsome husband as well. So it's family of 5 here. Got the teenager Kai, he's now 15. The blonde dude on the right here is Lucas. He is now 13. And then little Eva is 8. And I have homeschooled my kiddos for 14 years. So they were with me a lot. And last September, they all entered public school. So they're all now in public school. So my life really changed dramatically, you can imagine. We homestead in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We have the little goats right there in the picture. Little Eva is an amazing goat midwife. She knows how to help the mama goats birth their babies. I tell you, she's right there on my side when I help the mamas. We grow a lot of our own food. We have a big organic garden, and just goats we raise for cheese making, and pigs and hens and chickens and all kinds of stuff. And the kids are super involved in the garden as well. We spend a lot of time in nature. I mean, we are out there all the time. My kids love being outside and being active, and we sure make a lot of quality time to do that with them. We do a lot of hiking, a lot of bicycling. We're out in the water a lot, in the Puget Sound. We hang out by the river, campfires a lot. And now my dream man and my amazing husband, Steve, here we are smiling at each other. I love that guy. He's amazing. But it wasn't always paradise with us, I tell you. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that later. But I love him, and we're doing incredibly well. Very deep relationship. I am more in love now than I was when we first met. I run several businesses. So what we do is we lead retreats at our homestead to teach people homesteading and wilderness skills. We have retreats for children, and here you can see me teaching those kiddos how to milk a goat. I also do retreats for women where they come to nurture their souls and their spirits on our beautiful homestead. I also teach online courses about homesteading, also about the women's circles. And my blog is one of the top 100 homesteading blogs in the world, which still blows me away. And I develop, design, and teach and market all this stuff by myself. So you can see I'm super busy. My real love, though, is being a feminine power life coach. I do have a thriving business. I do lots of one-on-one work with clients. And I also do online courses and support circles for mothers. So the reason I'm telling you all this is you can see I'm really busy. I'm really, really busy. And I want to kind of paint a little bit of a picture here. You can see, my life really is thriving. Absolutely dream life. Super happy now. And people see me as a role model and inspiration because, they see me being very visible out there in the world. They see me living the life of my dreams, and they really see that the proof is in the pudding, so to speak, with my children, because they're really awesome kids. And we raise them, connected to the earth and connected to our values. And really, a lot of people are desperate to do just that. But it was not always that way. It was not always this way at all. I hit rock bottom when my son Lucas, the blonde dude, almost died. And what happened was I was in the middle. Boy, my little Eva, I just had given birth to her, my third child, right? And here is Lucas, and he got a deadly disease, totally weird, out of nowhere, deadly disease called Kawasaki disease. It's the inflammation of the blood vessels. Here I was, sleep deprived, hormonal, from the birth of my third child, and here my middle child almost dies, right? It was absolute rock bottom. I was completely and utterly, I would say a 4-letter word starts with F now, but you know what I'm saying. I had friends who actually said to me, Karina, you need to get onto antidepressants and you might be bipolar. I mean, I was so emotionally, I don't want to say out of control because that is judgment, but I was really rock bottom, right? So, if you're thinking, well, Karina, it's easy for you to be happy and have a great life. I just want you to know that I know what you're feeling because I was there in so many ways. So let me show you how you can change this old pattern that you're feeling, and let me start teaching you these principles. So the number one principle, the first principle, not number one, not most important, but one of the principles is clarity. You got to be clear. So instead of this general feeling of things not being right and just this general feeling of, oh, I need to change my life, I want you to name the pattern in your life that has been so painful, the pattern that keeps repeating itself, the pattern that you keep thinking, here we go again. Gosh, why can't I? And instead of being victimized, this is really important, so listen up to that. It's about taking 100% responsibility for how life is happening through you and not to you. Because if we are in a victimized place of, oh, life is happening to me and people are doing this to me, we have absolutely no access to power. We have no power to change things. But if we say, okay, let's see how this is actually happening through me. How am I responding? That is creating what's happening. And I want you to not blame or shame yourself, okay? Very gentle on yourself. Let me give you an example to make this clear. So my example, like I shared a little bit, there was this general feeling of depression, totally burned out, super stressed, and I really resented the crap out of everyone, including my kids. And the story and the question I asked myself was, why is this always happening to me? Why can't I have any support? Why are my kids this way? Why? And that gave me no access to power. So I want you to really just look at what is the story that you're telling yourself. And I want you to name the pattern and put it in the journal, put it in your journal. But basically what I want you to do is name your pattern. And again, I'm going to give you my example, right? So my pattern was this. I had this constant feeling of guilt. I think guilt was passed down to me in the mother's milk. Actually, no, mother's milk. I wasn't even nursed, so never mind. But a constant feeling of guilt, no matter how much I did, how well I did, how much I gave, never enough. I took care of other people at the expense of my own feelings and needs all the time, self-abandoning constantly. I played small when opportunities came my way. I stayed hidden. I didn't respond to those opportunities. I talked to myself very harshly, very mean. I would not talk like that to my worst enemy. I didn't accept help or support, and I pushed my husband away. That was the pattern, chronically self-sacrificing. I was rarely satisfied because I was so focused on other people's needs, and constantly this external standard of perfection or success, external, always looking outward. And I felt that I had to do more than everyone else to get the same amount of success and recognition. And talk about burnout, right? And I believed that I exist to please others. And I also committed to things that were not satisfying to me. And then guess what that created, right? Resentment. The other way it showed up in my life as a pattern, I gave up on things before reaching a level of mastery. I found myself burdened by too many obligations all the time. And this was important, that other people, especially my kids, were in danger of becoming overly dependent on me and of learning to feel entitled to have me do more for less. So that was my pattern, really big pattern there of inside of not being good enough. And so I want to invite you now to just share it and write it down in your journal, and just really, and as you're thinking and writing it down, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to pop over to the comments, and I'm going to want to see where if you guys are leaving any comments, because I would really like to see what you guys have to say. Okay, so if you see the pattern, can you write that down in the comments there? So just kind of like, as if you're watching a movie of yourself. What is it you're doing? What kind of stuff? How is it occurring in your life, this pattern? Because clarity is incredibly important for changing things. Okay. So you might be really disconnected from your own feelings and needs and desires. You might place your first attention on others, disappearing yourself completely. Others might skip over you all the time, disregard you, become very self-absorbed. Jalen writes, committing to things that aren't satisfying to me. Oh yeah, I hear you. The power of saying no. It's a hard one for me. Good. Beautiful naming, Jalen. We're going to look at that. The pattern might be that you are maybe possibly even overly self-reliant and not accepting help from other people. You might stay in a mothering position versus a woman position and constantly never fully blossoming into your fullness of your womanhood. Julia writes, my pattern is that I want to be deeply connected with people, but I push them away at the same time because this connection feels very scary and fragile. Thus, I find myself mostly alone and unsupported. Oh, beautiful naming, beautiful naming. Good. So I want to invite you to just keep naming that. Keep kind of writing it down. Keep being really curious about it. How is it showing up for you? Okay. And you can do more on that later. But for now, I'm going to, again, share the screen and go back to the slides. Okay. So here we talked about your pattern. Now, principle number 2. Now we're going to look at the intention. And intention is, what do you want to experience instead? After having named the pattern and the pain that comes with, right? What do you want to experience instead? What do you want to transform in your life? Who do you want to be? And the really amazing thing, you guys, is that, with all the women I have worked with and the thousands of women who have applied these principles I'm teaching you, setting an intention as a first step is incredibly powerful. And sometimes just setting an intention can shift things. Sometimes just setting the intention as your North Star can actually shift things for you. So I want to invite you into a little exercise here. And I want to invite you to feel into this question. And if you can right now, if you're in a place where it's safe to do so, I want to invite you to close your eyes and just breathe into your body. And just really listen from a deep place of listening and receptivity. Breathing into your body, knowing that you really deserve to thrive. You deserve to have what you want. And I want to invite you to ask yourself, what do I most deeply desire to experience in my life? And I want you to listen with your body, just feel into it. What do I most deeply desire to experience. And allow yourself to listen and write it down. Maybe share it in the chat window too. Breathing into your body and just asking yourself, what do I most deeply desire to create in my life? What am I yearning to create? If life was completely and utterly 100% supporting me, if I knew it was possible, what would I create in life? And write it down. And then ask yourself, what do I most deeply desire to express? Is it love? Is it service? Is it flourishing? Is it self-care? What is it that you're deeply yearning to express? And writing it down. And then one more question, breathing into your body, feeling that the universe and life supports your flourishing, that you're here for a reason on this planet, that you're not meant to self-sacrifice yourself and just go along in a painful pattern, but that you deserve to thrive and fully flourish and be happy and joyful. Ask yourself, what do I most deeply desire to contribute? Look at the bigger picture. What might be possible in your life? For me, the contribution is huge now that I'm just being visible and really putting myself out there. What is it you want to contribute? Feel into it. I'm gonna come over here and hop over here and see if anyone shared anything on the Facebook, not Facebook, on the on our chat here. If I can get myself there. Okay, well. All right, if Julia, if you can help me, I can't get to the chat right now. I'm going to start sharing the screen again. So just getting really clear, right? Just getting clear with your yearnings. If you want to text that to me, Julia, that'd be great. Okay. Okay. So now let's see here. Can you see my screen again, guys? Can you see it again? Oh boy, am I in the wrong one here? Ah, this is technology for you. Ah, you're screen sharing. Okay, so let me see. Tell me if I'm on. Can you all see? Can you all see it? Okay. All right, hold on. I'm going to stop screen sharing again, and I'm going to see if I can find... I'm in the wrong window. Technology. Here we are. I see the comments. Experience ease in relationships. Create a beautiful, safe, supported, and supportive community. Express my authentic self and my joy for life. Contribute my supportive and life-affirming presence. Okay. So you guys are yearning for stuff. I can see you're really the yearnings you have. Yes. Okay. All right. Now let's share again. Let's share the screen again. I can figure this out, right? Technology. All right. Now the next step, very, very important step, you guys. Incredibly, incredibly important now is to be aware. Oh boy. Oh, why can't I get to my... You are screen sharing. There we go. Can you guys see it? Okay, go ahead and put in the chat. Can you see me? I can see it. Good. All right. I'm trying to get to the, oh, I hate technology when it doesn't work. Hold on. You are screen sharing. Okay, so I want to screen share now. You know what? I'm just going to stop the screen sharing again. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry about that. Okay, now I'm gonna do, okay, now I'm gonna screen share. I'm gonna share my screen again. Maybe I did the wrong one. Okay. Okay, well, while I'm trying to figure this out, I want you guys to really just feel into what it is you want to create in your life, what it is that instead of the old patterns, what is it that you want to create and experience instead, okay? And write it down, write it down. I'm going to try to find my screen share thing again. Okay. Okay. So guys, this is great. See, this is like, now we're going to get to the really juicy part now that is really important. So next is something incredibly, incredibly important. That where the rubber really meets the road, you guys. This is where the rubber meets the road. Okay, can you see it now? Okay, I'm just gonna go. For some reason, for some reason, the Google Hangout doesn't want me to share my screen. So let's see here, Julia. If you have any ideas on how we're gonna share my screen again for my, let me know. This is my worst nightmare happening right now. My worst nightmare. Because I want to be able to scroll down on this thing here. Julia, do you have any ideas? Anyway, you know what I'm going to do, you guys? I'm going to do something different now. We're just going to talk about now where the rubber really meets the road. Really, really important here is, and I'm going to just look, I might, you know what, I might not, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop so you can see my face, and I'm going to just go with the flow here because that's how I am. All right, so I'm going to go right here to my coaching webinar. Okay. So principle number 3 is to transform your limiting beliefs. And it's your limiting beliefs about yourself and about others and the greater field of life, universe, or God, or whatever you want to call that force. This is where the rubber really meets the road. So what are your limiting beliefs? Limiting beliefs are meanings that you made when you were young. And when you're inside of the painful pattern you just named earlier, you believe these false beliefs are actually true. They're often subconscious without you realizing and knowing that they make you act and react a certain way. And they create an identity matrix that make you show up in ways that reinforce them. And their emotional center is located inside your body, not your mind, because we want to analyze, but actually it's all located in your body. And you can go into your body sensations and feelings and transform these false beliefs. So an example, right? So here's an example. So let's say there's a little girl, your little girl, and she has a raging father, just mad all the time. That little girl is not going to make that mean, oh, you know, my dad, he grew up in a pretty harsh family and he never was taught about his feelings, so he doesn't know how to express them. So, you know, I'm not going to take it personal. And who could I call to get help with this? No, this little girl is going to make it mean, I am not safe, others are dangerous, and life is unfair. Or let's say that little girl has a mother who is not very loving, and the mother kind of neglects her. The little girl is not going to make it mean, well, you know, my mom, she is just so preoccupied with work and she has so much stress financially. She just doesn't know how to show her love. Let me see who I can get support with. Who could I call? No, that little girl is going to make it mean, I'm not wanted. Others don't want me. Others don't love me. And life is scary, right? So in my own example for the false beliefs, my own example was very much about I am not good enough. I was raised in a German culture where No matter how many A's I brought back, no matter how well I did in sports or academically, never good enough. I was always criticized. And and I also had this thing where I remember my aunt, or I think it was the aunt, wanted to give me 25 cents to buy myself chewing gum. And my parents said, no, you can't accept that. You can't accept that. So for me, it was always like, oh, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy to receive anything, right? So my other false belief was that, about not being worthy. And then my grandfather was an ex-murderer. So talk about not feeling safe, right? Didn't feel safe at all in my life. So that was my belief matrix. So I want to invite you. And by the way, within this belief matrix, then what happens is we always show up in ways that reinforce them. For example, for me, like, I'm not good enough. This is actually a beautiful example. The old me before this work, with this happening, with the screen share not working, I would like, I'm not good enough. See, life, I'm not good enough. Who am I to think about I could pull off a webinar like that, right? Or there would have been no way in hell that I would have showed up with, like, there were 100 people sign up for this thing. Like, oh, who am I to think I can do this, right? So I didn't show up. I didn't put myself out there. I didn't create visibility for myself. And I put so much on my plate that I couldn't do anything good enough. And so it reinforced that I'm not good enough, right? So I want to invite you right now to look at what are your limiting beliefs. Okay, so I want to invite you into an exercise right now where you really bring it back into your body. So I want to invite you to just imagine that that pattern you just identified just happened yet again. Just happened yet again. And where is that feeling in your body? Where can you feel that pattern? I often sense it, and many people sense it as a contraction, It's like, oh, here we go again. Here we go again. Oh, that pattern. Why? And the story you tell yourself. So just breathing into your body, closing your eyes, and imagine the pattern you want to transform just happened again. And I want to invite you to just right now feel into, where is that in your body? Where can you feel it? What is the feeling? Is it sadness? Is it depression? Is it hopelessness? What is it? And then I want you to give that name a feeling, a name, like a feeling name. Like I am, or I'm not. What is it? I am, or I'm not. And what is the feeling? What does it say about others? What is the identity behind that feeling about others? Others are dangerous. Others don't love me. Others, what is it about others? Keep breathing into your body. Keep breathing. And what is that feeling? What does it say about life? What is possible in life inside of this identity? What is or what is not possible inside of this identity? And write it down if you can. Write it down. And just be really gentle with yourself here. Really open and gentle with yourself. Okay, so now that you have that, now that you got in touch with that, I'm gonna go back to, let's see, I'm gonna stop sharing the screen. Well, actually, can you guys tell me if you can see what I'm sharing right now? Can you see that? Can you see the screen kind of going down? Julia, can you text me and say, yes, we can, or no, we can't? Can you see the screen? So now that you are aware of these beliefs, now what? Now what? So the beauty of this work is that once you get in touch with your younger self, you can help her make new, more empowered meaning. You can help her. So now the work is, and I want you also, by the way, to be really aware of when you found that I am statement. I am, and here, let me just give you some more examples. It could have been the feeling that you had, the pattern. It could be, I'm alone, I'm bad, I don't belong, I'm a burden, I'm crazy, I'm different, I'm not enough, I'm a failure, I'm not important, I'm inferior, I'm invisible, I'm not loved, I don't matter, I'm powerless, I'm not safe, I'm too much, I'm unworthy, I'm not wanted, I'm worthless, I'm wrong. So whatever these feelings, the identity matrix underneath that pattern is, I want to invite you now to just be aware of how old is that part of you that made that meaning? How old is she? Is that a little 5-year-old inside of you that's kind of running the show? Because what happens that whenever you're triggered in your pattern, it is not your wise adult showing up. It's that little 5-year-old or 8-year-old, a little teenager driving the car and wham, right back into, I'm not enough, I'm a burden, whatever it is, right? So the work is to make really conscious and name how you have been relating to yourself and others in life within this false belief matrix, this identity matrix. And this is what has created your painful pattern up until now. And the work has to do, which is so powerful, you guys. And I have completely and utterly changed all this because I have learned how to turn towards the younger self and help her understand what is really true. When I first learned this and when I first turned towards my younger self, she actually told me, what do you want? What do you want from me? I don't trust you. I don't want to have a relationship with you. But I learned how to do this, and it brought the biggest transformation. And I've seen so many women do that. So the work is then to form a real relationship with your younger self and learn to turn towards her feelings, even if they're difficult. It's about anchoring then into a deeper truth while you are actually centered into the adult, wiser, resourceful self of yourself, right? You anchor into the deeper, what is really true? Are you truly not good enough? What would you tell if you had a little daughter? Imagine you have a little daughter and she comes to you, Mom, I am just so inferior. You would say, no, sweetie, that's not true. That is not true at all. And you would tell her what is really true is that you are a shining star and you are so loved, right? So from there, then, it's identifying and practicing new ways of relating to yourself and others in life that are actually consistent with the deeper truth. And I can tell you, this will create radically different results in your life. And so you can learn how to do this. I want you to know you can learn how to do this. It might seem hard right now and you're like, how do I do this? You can learn how to do this. And so I want to invite you, if this work is intriguing you, to come into my brand new online group coaching program. And what it is, and by the way, I have that link there in that video underneath here. So it's Intention Clarity Manifesting Online Group Coaching. And it is basically a 7-week online course where I'm going to hold that container for you and teach you and help you figure it out. Teach you exactly what I've been just introducing to you today, only in much more depth, with much more support. What you're going to get is tremendous clarity so you can focus and set an intention. And I will help you connect with the 8 areas of feminine self-realization so you can actually discover what is most important and most in season for you to create and manifest in 2018. And I'll also teach you what it means to create with feminine power versus masculine power. That's the system we've been using. And you're going to learn to transform your life by connecting with the parts of you that have been sheltering that the emotional centers of your core belief and patterns in life that have been very painful up until now. The pattern you just identified. You're going to learn to have an empowered relationship with your feelings and needs. So important. And relate to your experience in ways that create tremendous possibilities in your life. And understand and evolve old myths and stories you held as truth. It's no more self-defeating. We're done with that. You're going to cultivate the power to step into your destiny and vision for your life by evolving your relationship with a larger field of life, where you can actually tap into some pretty awesome, amazing magic and co-creation. I have stories about that from my own life. When I learned how to do that, it's magic. That's what it is. You're going to learn to deeply trust your intuition and how to relate to bad things and setbacks and delays and breakdowns in ways that actually open up incredible, tremendous possibilities. And here's where the rubber really meets the road: is your relationship with others will radically change for the better, because you will actually unearth the false beliefs you've had about others, and we'll work together to transform these stories into a much more empowering and generative way of relating that's actually aligned with a deeper truth. So really, it's all about up-leveling your relationships in ways that allows you to really realize the greatest possibilities in your life. So, you can see that this would make your mothering so much more, I hate the word better, but better, more balanced, more easeful, more joyful. I have become such a more present, more joyful mother after doing this work that I teach and that I deepen into the 7-week course. I cannot even tell you the night and day difference it made. Now, you might wonder, why group coaching? Is that for me? And I say, yes, it is. Because, well, not the number one reason, but one of the reasons is you save money, because it's cheaper than my one-on-one coaching, where actually it costs about $700 to go one-on-one through the whole process I just taught you. And I know money can be a barrier. And the price actually for my online group coaching, by the way, is only $129. And this is actually my gift to you, is this price is going up to at least $300 next time I run it in a few months. So this is a gift now for you. If you're called to it, do it now at this price. It is an amazing, amazing opportunity, really. Why group coaching? Number 2, learn from other people, right? So the group process with supportive women can catalyze your own growth unlike anything you've ever seen. We're going to create kind of like an incubator. It's an alchemical incubator together, where it's really safe, really supportive, really nurturing. And it's amazing how much you can learn from other women being coached and being mentored. And you realize you're not alone. This is not a personal thing. It's a collective thing. Number 3, of course, the bonding and the community. You might get a little scared, when you hear group coaching, you might have had bad experiences with this group stuff before, but you will have the opportunity to really form deep bonds with other women, and they can be friends for life. It certainly happened for me that way when I did a group coaching. We don't want to have any more dysfunctional girlfriend relationships, all right? How does it work? The course starts on Thursday, February 22nd, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll meet every Thursday. It's going to be like 90 minutes via Zoom or the phone, not complicated. Everything is going to be recorded. So if you can't make it in person, it's fine. It'll be recorded. There'll be some kind of interaction with other women, either Facebook or breakout groups. There will be powerful practice and reflection questions. In fact, one thing you're going to get is the identity matrix that will break down those false beliefs, the way you've been showing up, what you need to learn and cultivate. It's a very amazing document. So really quickly here, just want to tell you, one of my clients, Nicola, says, I am a client of Karina's, and if you want to have a profound shift in 2018, I highly recommend you sign up for this incredible and invaluable opportunity, and for an incredible price, which I'm guessing will be changing in the near future. Yup, got that right. I participate in programs where group coaching is practiced, and it is so powerful. I learned so much from being witness to coaching taking place, and things inside of me open up. Plus the community that is created by being in a safe transformational container. What an amazing opportunity you're offering, Karina. Thank you so much for your work in the world. Your coaching has supported me in getting to the next level on my journey. That was Nicola. And then Claire Zamet. Now, she is the founder of this work, and she has done this work with thousands and thousands of women. That is very effective. She is actually working with people like Deepak Chopra and Jean Houston and some of the most important thought leaders in this time. And I was personally trained by her And here's what she has to say about me. She says, few women I've ever met and trained embody wellness, wholeness, and happiness and thriving more than Karina Salen. If you have the opportunity to be her client or participate in any of her programs, you will gain more than a skilled coach. You'll have access to a mentor whose very presence and beingness will catalyze you to a new level of authentic success and fulfillment. I love this so much. Thank you, Claire. One more, and then I can answer questions if you have any. Tracy writes, until Karina helped me discover the events in my life that impacted my self-esteem, self-worth, self-confidence, I did not know why I felt so low, so useless, so inadequate. I never realized how the experiences I had as a younger self dramatically shaped my identity as a grown woman. Karina's help has been life-changing, to say the least. And what is even better, my adult children have noticed my increased self-confidence and self-esteem. My daughter especially has watched me struggle with my inability to stand up for myself and for my feelings. I rarely showed emotion around my children because I didn't want to rock the boat, which is how I grew up. Here I thought holding my feelings in all this time was showing how strong I was, even though the emotions were eating me alive from the inside out. But instead, the result is that my children have difficulty coping with their emotions. To see what they're struggling with now because of keeping everything to myself greatly pains me. I cannot say enough about Karina's work and how much it has helped me, so much so that I've been talking to my daughter about looking into the program herself. So I want to invite you in to come into my program and really ask yourself the question, what is it actually costing you to stay where you're at in your pattern? The painful stuff that keeps repeating itself over and over. What is it costing you? Really, no more excuses, no time, no energy, no money. And think about the bigger picture. What will you and your kids gain really from you getting the support and participating in the program? So I want to invite you into it. And I'm going to come back onto the screen here. My chaotic, that was weird, that screen sharing thing. I'm sorry about that. And I would love to take any questions if you have any questions. Otherwise, I can just go ahead and stop it. But I just want to head on over there and see if anyone has any questions, any feedback, anything you want to share. I would love to hear what you have to say. If you have any question, let me know. Maybe that whole thing doesn't work anymore here again. All right, well, whatever it is, I just wanted to thank you. You can ask me questions. You can click on the link to sign up for the course, ask me questions, email you, whatever you decide to do, I'm here for you. I'm really standing with you and for you to change your patterns and to be a balanced, peaceful mother. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sticking with a dumb technology thing, but it doesn't mean I'm not good enough. See, it just happened. Life happens. So I hope you're doing good. I hope to see you either in the course or questions in the email. And bye for now.